introducing the strategies to design socio-ethically sustainable process systems. These strategies, it's very important because first they come from the Lens network, and the Lens it's not just here at Polytechnical. It's a big network that's around the world. So I consider them with a universal perspective, and also we don't have so many social strategies for the development of sustainable products and services. So I consider them really, really interesting. I know that they are a lot, so you see a lot of strategies, and I provided questions about like if we should like apply all of them at the same time. You don't need, so you just have to understand them and think critically about them, and then like you can think if it's possible to apply or not, and create these requirements for your project. Well, that's cool. So today a presentation has this structure. So we have the overview of all these 6 strategies. There are 6, like hung ones. Then we will see each strategy in a close. We will see the key questions. So these key questions, they work as a critical point that you think about all these solutions, the existing ones, and think if what are the problems that they have, so we can raise these problems and understand them. Then it comes with some examples, just to illustrate. So some of these examples, most of them actually, they are not PSSs. They are more inspirational, but you get the point of the connection of the guideline. And also you see repeated ones from Hans' presentation and also from Gabriele's presentation, because when you are talking about one strategy, they are not unique to that thing, so they intersect with other strategies and other cases. And I think that this is interesting when they repeat, because then you can get it that they fit in any one of them, and you can see that the project is sustainable, because it's just not approach just environmental sustainability or economical sustainability or social sustainability. So, system design for social equity and cohesion strategies. As the same as Hans said, we want to achieve social ethical benefits with economical and competitive ones. So it's not just social ethical sustainability, but we are talking also about the economical one. We cannot forget about the other dimensions when you work with sustainability. Also, it's important to think that when you think about sustainability, and I usually say that because I think that is, we should take more attention to the social part, is that actually sustainability is a very anthropocentric concept. So we are talking here about the sustain of human life in the planet. So we are talking about the social part, and we should think about all these 3 dimensions together. So this idea of social equity, social ethical strategies, they have 2 pillars. The first one is equity, and the second one is social cohesion. So we have this basis of all these strategies when we are talking about this dimension. And coming with the first strategy here, we have improving employment and work conditions. As Hans said, when we talk about systems, we are talking actually about the dynamic of the stakeholders inside of a system of welfare. And so here we are talking about the people that work inside of a company. And we'll talk further about the stakeholders. Then we talk about improving equity and justice in relation to stakeholders, and we're talking about the external ones to the organization. Then we are talking about enabling and responsible and sustainable consumption. So this is about actually the consumer and how we educate them until they become designers and they can develop their own ideas with their own perspective. The fourth one is about favoring integrating low income and weak and marginalized. We are talking basically about inclusion of vulnerables. The fifth one is about improving social cohesion. And social cohesion is important to think that we are talking about groups that are different and they can come together in the same community. So you have like younger and elders together, or different kind of genders, or different kind of economical status, for example. But it's also interesting to think that social cohesion can occur even in criminal activities. So you have these groups that are organized. We are here talking about this good part of the social cohesion that comes and makes the communities big and come together. And the sixth one is about the empowering and enhancing local resources. So how can we value the skills and the resources that they have locally? Of course, we're talking about renewable resources here. So the first one, improving employment and working conditions. So here we are to design to promote fair employment and improve working conditions within the enterprise. We're talking about stakeholder configurations. And here there is this phrase inside of the book, the book of Professor that probably mentioned many times already, at least through various means of communication. So this is put there because actually we cannot do too much about the people inside of the enterprise as designers, because here we are talking about process systems, and in this perspective that we are approaching is more the offer perspective. So inside of the enterprise is actually a little bit beyond the offer itself. So sometimes it's complicated, but what designers can do is to improve communication and information to workers so they can be empowered and know their rights. So the key questions that they say that raise these problems, the first one is, are there any problems of forced or child labor? Then we start to think about if there is health and safety risks in the workplace. Are there any problems of exclusion or insufficient support in the workplace? So is that people with different capacities able to work there? Are there any problems of work overload or inadequate wages? Is there a denial of associations or denial of rights to collective negotiation, to unions and this group of workers? Are there any problems with dismissed workers without just cause? And this it's more contemporary thing. We have like these layoffs of big companies, especially digital companies, and usually they don't have interest in the workers itself. They just have this economical interest and do this without just cause. And the last one is, are there any problems of technology being applied, especially digital, to reduce employment? And always when you think about these questions, when you're seeing the materials, you have like the SDO toolkit after to work. That is one of the tools that you use. There is always this question at the end that is called it's just written there, other, and it means that we cannot stop to question and improving this question and keep thinking about these points there, because society changes, technology changes, so we always have to keep this framework and these possibilities and these points open. So we always question, are there any other problems related here to these workers? I bring here a case that is this browser called Vivaldi. And the interesting part of the Vivaldi is that the employees are the owners of the company. And this gives them a saying on how the company manages the personal data of all these products. This gives also empowerment to them to participation inside of the company. So we have this strategy that says promote satisfaction, motivation, participation of employees. And this is a kind of an inspirational example on that. Then we have this very old project, but I think that is interesting because today we're talking a lot about AI and how it replaces us, especially designers, with all this image generation. So in 1986 in Sweden, they brought this software that was to replace designers of a newspaper layout. So this software would you would put all this news inside of it, and it would spit out the layout of the day. But then in Sweden they didn't like that, so the unions they complained and they decided to develop a software, a different one that used designers in the loop. And this actually improved a lot the agility of doing these newspapers in the morning. But also improved the layouts itself because actually the software wasn't as good as the designers itself. So we have to think about how these digital solutions can support human abilities instead of just replacing them. Here is Protolabs is also a solution that I think that Gabriele will use. It's an offer that bridges the gap between designers and makers. So it gives makers access to the use of manufacturing equipment, 3D, print, and CNC. And it's opened a new model for how small business and medium-sized business can access the services, even the opportunity of access rather than the ownership of these expensive machines. So listing out these guidelines of the improving employment and working conditions, the first one is that we just saw, so it's offer access rather than ownership, so opening new market opportunities for local entrepreneurs in low-middle income contests, and this is also an economical sustainable strategy. We can also improve and maintain good working conditions. Can also promote adequate working hours and fair wages. We can promote satisfaction, motivation, participation of these employees, as you saw in the case of the Mozilla. And we can design solutions with digital technology to support human abilities, humans in the loop, rather than replace them, as you saw in the Topia project. The second one is about improving equity just in relation to the stakeholders. So when we are talking here about this strategy, we are designed to promote and enhance fair and just relations outside the enterprise, within the partnerships, upstream, downstreams, and as well as the community where the offer takes place, as well the users and consumers. Also, I would like to say there is no sequence for all these strategies. You can use it without sequence. I just like to number them. I don't know, it's a way that I learned how to remember all of them and think about them better, I believe. So don't worry about if you have to go in this session in this way or if you have to apply all of them. So the key questions here, the first one is, are there any problems affecting external organization stakeholders? The second one is, are the clients or final users expressing concerns or criticism about the supply system? The third is, are there any unfair relationships in the partnerships with stakeholders? Are there any unfair relationships with suppliers, with contractors, or sub-suppliers? And does the system employ automated channels to discourage complaint or replace humans interaction channels that are potentially more effective? So are we replacing all these channels with digital because we really don't want to answer the problems? We really don't want to talk with the customers and solve the critical points there. There is also three other more questions about it has more disconnection with digital. So does the system exploit the users or stakeholders to generate data by surveilling, nudging, or using other dark patterns, creating exposure to behavior manipulation for commercial or political interest? So we're talking here about the instrumentalization of users just to produce data and keep them hooked so we can sell them wherever we want. Does the system diminish or ignore or oppress users or other stakeholders, reinforcing injustice and biases or inequalities through algorithmic activity? So is this algorithmic activity, this feedback that the digital systems can give us, reinforcing injustice and inequalities? Does the system contribute to psychological or societal harm, such as addiction, depression, isolation, polarization, or any reduced well-being for other users or stakeholders? The first example is Brave. Brave is another browser also. It's privacy-focused one. And it has like a ton of by default extensions that it gives like extra protection. But also it follows this policy of privacy by default that doesn't collect data at all. So this actually makes it 3 times faster than normal browsers, and it consumes less energy also. So here we have the strategy, the guideline about enhance users' informational relations and protecting them from data extraction, organizational centralization, data silos. The other example here is fair trade. I think that many people here knows fair trade. They are this, we have this stamp that says inside in the products that says that this product is socially fair and just with the workers. So how it works is that actually the farmers and the workers, they are part of the decisions of this label in the regulations for its standards. So here we are talking about giving a voice also to the people that are involved in the these partnerships. So the guidelines here, we have the first one is about promoting enhanced fair and just partnership that you just saw. We have the relations with suppliers, with contractors with suppliers. We can promote and enhance fair and just relations with the clients or the users. We can enhance the relations affecting the community. We can also promote and enhance fair and just relations with local institutions and agencies. So we can use and comply with the regulations of the local institutions. We can also promote and enhance informational relations with clients and users, protecting them from data extraction and this centralization of data. And these are the two guidelines that we use for the examples. So the third strategy is about enabling responsible and sustainable consumption. We talk here about promoting and enhance responsible and sustainable behavior and choices made by clients and final users. So we will talk about how we can inform and educate these users and these customers until they can also develop themselves all these ideas, so they can express themselves, their needs, and embed themselves, their beliefs in their own solutions. So here are the key questions. The first one is the client or final user able to acknowledge clearly and easily the social unsustainability along the whole value production chain? The third one is about, is the client or final user able to understand the social and sustainable behavior promoted by the supply system? They are able to clearly understand and recognize the social, ethical, and sustainability throughout the entire data chain. So we're talking about the data collection, the process, the impact, where these physical structures are when they hold all this data, and what are the regulations that they are under. They are able to limit the exposure to profile or behavior manipulation to digital technology, so they can have a say inside of the system. Is the client or final user able to engage in discussions, contribute ideas about how their data is used, and participate in the development and governance of the data system, rather than just be passively exploited? And here we have a case of Earthship. Earthship is this service that provides all these materials to learn how to build sustainable houses. And also courses, so the people can do by themselves these houses in a sustainable manner. Obsidian is open source note-taking software that has a policy so that you own all your data. So all the files, they stay inside of your computer, and they don't stay automatically in a cloud that you don't know where it is. It is also how the users also can develop and do their own interfaces if they wish. So the guidelines here, when we are talking about sustainable consumption, the first one is to enhance the social sustainability of all stakeholders. So adopt standards to increase the transparency of supply chains, underlining the social sustainability. We are here also talking about the fair trade. We have the complement PSS with informational and or learning experience that educate the client and end user on sustainable behavior choices. As you saw, also the houses one. Offer SPSS that enable clients and end users to participate responsibly and sustainably. Can also involve the client and end user in the production, implementation, and customization of their own SPSS. It can involve the client and end user in the design decision-making process of their own SPSS. When we talk about digital, we can enhance the privacy of all customers by default and enhance the transparency of the system. We can complement the SPSS offer with services to users, clients, in learn and be aware of provider commercial trading personal data. We can engage the user and customer in designing the system to ensure transparency, accessibility, and the user control of personal data management. The fourth one, the strategy of favor integrating low-income, we can marginalize. Here, as I said, we are talking about the inclusion of the vulnerable. So sometimes we are also ourselves the vulnerable in the situation. So when you talk about low income, we're talking about these different types of economical status, right? So you're talking about people that has lower economical status. When you're talking about weaker, we can talk about elders, we can talk about children's in people with different capacities. When I'm talking about marginalized, we can talk about women, different types of genders, and also foreigners, for example, migrants. So here we are designing to life quality improvement and promoting integration of children, adults, disabled, employed, illiterate, or people from any other vulnerable social group. And the key questions is, does the supply system create obstacles or limit access to people with a weaker social status? Is the offer accessible to people with lower income? Does the offer contribute in any way to the marginalization of certain people? Are people being excluded with the digital structures and systems and lack access to affordable Wi-Fi devices? And are people being excluded due to insufficient knowledge on the use of digital technology or algorithmic injustice? This case is a toy library, so it operates like a public library where people can lend different types of toys. And they provide the new toys for every week for children, saving all the parents of this community a lot of money. They also organize play sessions and supply toys suitable for different types of stages of the children. This is Unix. It's a free open source operational systems of high privacy. Usually is used by whistleblowers when they are working outside in countries that they don't have free speech. And it's available for free, so it's an independent project. The guideline here that this represents is introducing digital technology to support marginalized individuals and community in meaningful ways. So the first guideline is offer access rather than mere product ownership, and this you saw with the library there, the library of toys, to extend the access even to the low-income final users. The second guideline is to complement the product offer with all-inclusive running costs, maintenance, repair, upgrade, to avoid the interruption of use for low-income final users. We can also develop products or services that are accessible for free or at a cost that can be afforded even by low-income people. This is also the case of Unix. We can design to diversify the offer and include options with higher and lower costs to extend access. We can develop systems with shared economy property to increase their accessibility, and develop systems that promote labor services with equitable access exchange. And we can introduce digital technologies to support low-income, weaker and marginalized individuals, communities in more meaningful ways. We are nearly there, people. So the fifth one is about improving social cohesion. And here, as I said, we are talking about bringing together these different types of people inside of a community. So how to design to promote social integration in the community between generations, genders, different cultures, and capabilities also. The key questions here is the offering system creating or promoting or reinforcing any kind of intragender, intercultural, generational capabilities, marginalization, any form of discrimination or sexual, religious, cultural, gender, capability, age, any form of mistrust, exclusion, unhealth, competition, or communication breakdowns within the groups or among the individuals. Here also the digital part is any form of digital marginalization, so of knowledge or algorithm or equipment, any form of division, disarranging or disorganizing social movements, so towards better rights or development of small business, etc., using psychological operation or digital medias. We have here BlaBlaCar. That's a platform that many of you probably know because it's many years already in the market. So people in the same place, they can share a car and they can travel together. This also is cost effective because then you just use one car. We have another example here is Mastodon. It's a social media that is open source. It is made by volunteers operating in servers in different locations of the planet. So we have like this federate servers. It means that you can choose where the country that you are choosing to host your data. And they are all interconnected and they are all sustained by this community. So here I started that talks, a guideline that talks with this. Example is this integrate online communication and user engagement channels for users, clients, and stakeholders to help communities come together. So the first guideline here is to promote products, spaces, infrastructures, knowledge, and services sharing systems that enable neighborhood social integration, common goods, and their maintenance with the neighbors, co-housing, inhabitants to co-design common goods. We can also have a gender integration and social integration between generations. Also social integration between different cultures. And another one more about this digital, so integrate online communication and user engagement channels for user and clients and stakeholders to help communities come together. And the last strategy is about local resources. So how can we promote and favor systems that regenerate and empower local economies by enhance both humans and natural resources? So we are talking also about skills here. The first one of the key questions is, does the current system and digital structures empowering local cultural values and identities, does it offer only one solution and few variations for all the regions and cultures? Does this solution have a negative impact on the social well-being of the local community? Does it impoverish local economies? Does it absorb local non-renewable resources? Does it diminish, ignore, or compromise local resources, regulation, or cultural representations? And this is an example that Hang gave. It's an open desk. It's a platform that connects customers to a network of designers nearby and crafters. It ensures that the furniture is made locally, on demand, and sustainably and affordably. But the idea here that is representing this idea of favoring any development that enhances the local capacities for collaborating in the production. So we are using the knowledge that is available locally and empowering this community. This OpenStreetMap is a map that is developed by an international community. So they really value the local knowledge of the geographical development there. So when you see this map, I look at that like my region there in Brazil, and you can see the name of the mountains that has the indigenous name. So each place has it's developed by local mappers and has this local knowledge embedded on it. So you can do also digital things locally. So the first guideline is offer access rather than ownership or equipment, extending it to the low and middle income local entrepreneurs. The second one is about improving convenience and site attractiveness for users, customers with digital platforms to access physical assets. You can also complement the equipment offer with all-inclusive services covering running costs of maintenance, repair, upgrade, to avoid the use interruption by low-income and local entrepreneurs. Here, actually, local resources you see a lot crossing with Gabriele and with Hans' strategies. The fourth one is about offer access rather than ownership of distributed economy systems, and then he will explain better what it is. Extending it to low and middle income local entrepreneurs. We can also complement the offer for the distributed economy systems with all inclusive services running costs, offering maintenance, repair, upgrade to avoid the interruption of use by low and middle income local entrepreneur organizations. We can reinforce the role of the local economy, creating services in the same place that they will be used. We can favor any development that enhances the local capacities for collaboration, production of goods that contribute to the common goods and external economies. We can regenerate urban artifacts that haven't fallen to suit, so involving the weak and marginalized in this idea of regenerating the local. We can renew and regenerate industrial, domestic, urban, illicit projects and materials. We can adopt and promote systems using regenerate natural local resources. We can respect and enhance peculiar locally based activities and enterprises. We can respect and encourage cultural identities and diversity. So by applying skills and resources available locally. So just to remember, we're talking here about the socio-ethical sustainability. The two pillars of it is equity and social cohesion. So this is the basis of all the strategies that you saw. I know that's a lot. because for me it's a lot. Like I'm 3 years here learning that, and we all 3 years here learning that. I didn't have time to talk a little bit about each one of them because we have like a really tight time here. But I hope that you can have a look. These are the 6 months. The first one is about working conditions inside. We're talking about improving equity of the stakeholders outside the enterprise. Then we talk about enable responsible and sustainable consumption. Then we favor and integrate the vulnerable. So we are talking about inclusion. Then we improve the social cohesion of these communities. Then we empower and enhance the local resources. And empower, we talk about like these skills, not just resources. And I just wanted to say also a little bit as Hang showed, so you can go to the website. You can enter here in the learner resources, enter in guidelines. And go to the guidelines of the social equity and cohesion here, and you have all of them. Each one of them has like some examples, and you can have a look and digest better all of that I just said and read for you here, guys.